Welcome to episode 3, where we will make use of the notation, the algorithms that we are now able to learn. We're going to do the corners in this step. The cube will end up looking something like this. Obviously the first side will be done, and we'll also have, these colors will obviously align, and also the corners should align as well, if all goes well. And that will happen all the way around the cube, and this is actually called not the first side, but the first layer, because the way that the cube solving works is it's broken up into 3 layers. The first layer is this side, the second layer is just these 4 edge pieces, and the last layer is this side, which is actually very complicated to do, and we'll get to that at some point. For now though, we're focused on these corners here. So there are 4 white corners, of course. There is this one, this one, this one, and this one. This is just a random scramble. We're going to end up seeing how good or bad these corners are to place. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to look for a corner on the yellow face, a white corner on the yellow face. The reason for that is because in this entire step, we can always move the yellow face freely. We can move this as much as we like, and we'll retain our progress. Anything else, though, we break our cross, and we don't want that, of course. So we're going to try and stick to just moving the yellow face and using our algorithm, which we will get to very shortly. So the first step is to find a corner on the white corner on the yellow face. So this isn't white, this isn't white, this isn't white, this is white. So this is the one we'll start with. It is possible to have no corners on the white face. That is quite rare, but it can happen, and I will get to what to do in that situation in a minute here. This is the piece we're going to start with because it's the only one we have, and we need to look at the colors. So it's got white, blue, and red on it. Okay, so if it's white, blue, and red, it should go between the white, the blue, and the red faces. So here's white, here's blue, and here's red. So the middle of those should be here, obviously. Given that, we're going to hold the white face on the bottom, so like that. We're going to put it above where it needs to go. So if it needs to go here, as we figured out, it needs to go above there. So that would be right here. And we can get it there, obviously, just by rotating the yellow face. So that works. And there you go. It's now exactly above where it needs to go, which is the first step, because it's got the blue and the red, and it's between the blue and the red. Simple enough. So from here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to use the algorithm. It is R, U, R prime, U prime. That may seem daunting to you if you're not practiced with algorithms yet, but don't fret. It's a very simple algorithm. It's just 4 moves, and we're just going to repeat it a lot of times. So the way this step works is we're just going to keep repeating it until the piece is in the correct position, which seems a little absurd, but it does work. Trust me. So here's the piece right now, and we're going to start doing the algorithm. So R means turn the right face. So that's the red side in our case right now, clockwise. So that's this way. So R is that. U means turn the upper face clockwise. So that's that. R prime is turn the right face counterclockwise. So that's like that. And U prime is turn the upper face counterclockwise. So that's like that. And we're going to repeat that. So R, right face clockwise. U, upper face clockwise. R prime, right face counterclockwise. And U prime, upper face counterclockwise. And we're going to keep doing that. And every time you should check to see if the corner's in the right place. So there's actually a corner in here, but it's not the right one. We want this one, the white, the red, and the blue. So we're going to keep doing it until it's in place, and eventually will be. So R, U, R prime, U prime. Not right. R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not right. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now it is, which is great. Finally, we have that piece in the correct place, and that is the first corner done. Now we're going to go ahead and move on and see if there's another one, and there is. There's this one here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this to where it needs to go. So it's the orange and green and white corner, obviously. We're going to hold the white on the bottom and look for orange and green. So that's here and here. So it needs to go here. So for now, we're going to put it above where it needs to go. So it needs to go here. Above that is here. So we're going to do just rotate the yellow face until it's there. Now it is. Now we're going to start doing the algorithm. So we hold in the top right side, and we're going to start just repeating the algorithm again. So R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And there you go. It's in the right place now. And you should check every time. I have an intuition of when it will be correct. But as you're starting out, you may not know. I would recommend that you just check every time and repeat the algorithm after you've checked that it's not correct yet. So now we're going to do another corner. So this one's available to us here. So let's just move that. It's the green and red, I should say. And here's the green and the red. And it's meant to go here. So above there is here. So we're going to put this over to there. I turn the yellow face, of course. Hold in the top right of our cube. So we're facing the red. And we're going to do R, U, R prime, U prime. Nope. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. That's the third corner done. And I'm just going to do this one pretty quick. So this is orange and blue. Orange and blue. So it should go here. So we're going to put above there, which is here. Rotate that around. I'm just going to do the algorithm pretty quickly. And that one worked first try. And there you go. That's the first layer done. But you may have run into some cases which are less lucky. This was actually quite a nice first layer. So I'm going to go and I'm going to show you guys some of the worst cases you can get. Alright, so this is one of the worst cases you can get. As you can see, we're not done with this entire layer. This piece is in the wrong place, and this piece isn't white yet. But if I go over to the top, there are no white faces or white corners. And so what do we do in this case? Both the white corners are in positions on the white face. So this one is in the wrong one, and this one's in the wrong one. So we need to get them out or something, because we need to switch them around. This is actually a fun puzzle if you want to figure it out. It's not too tricky to do. You can pause here if you like. Otherwise, though, the way that you can do this is just by simply picking any other corner. Doesn't matter which one on the Rubik's Cube. Literally any of these four that aren't a white corner. And saying, I want to put this one where the corner that we want to use actually is. For example, I want this corner out because I want to use this one and put it here. So let's just put this corner into here. And you should know how to do that. You just keep it in the top right, and you hold the cube, and you start doing the algorithm. So R, U, R prime, U prime. And it doesn't matter how many times you do it, because the point is that it's put it in there in the first place. And now that this piece is out again, we can put this where it needs to go. So this is red and green, which is meant to go here. So let's just rotate that. So it's meant to go here, so we'll put above where it needs to go, which is up here. Rotate that over, and we're going to start doing the algorithm again. So R, U, R prime, U prime, 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 R, U, R prime, U prime. And there you go. Now it's correct. And that took a fair number of times, so I sped up a little bit along the ways you may have noticed. Now let's do the last corner real quick, and then that'll be the end of this episode. So this corner is meant to go red and blue. So it's in between here. So this is where it's meant to go. So above where it goes here. So we're going to rotate that over. We're going to real quick do the algorithm. I believe it'll be 3 times. Yeah. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And there you go. That's the entire first side and layer all around it completed.